I want to take the next few minutes to share some interesting facts about our heart, which will hopefully help us appreciate a little bit more. But before I do that, I want to ask you this interesting question. What do you think is more powerful, a Boeing 747 engine or your heart? And it's going to make sense why I ask that question in a moment. So let's look at some of these heart facts. As most people know, your heart beats around 72 beats per minute, which equates to 100,000 times a day. So that's quite a bit of work. Many might not know that your heart starts beating before you're even born, while you're in the womb, roughly 4 weeks after conception. And of course, it doesn't stop until death. What was really interesting is that if you put your arteries and blood vessels end to end, you would have roughly 60,000 miles or 100,000 kilometers of blood vessels. Isn't that crazy? And if you put your blood vessels, like I said, end to end, they would circumnavigate the globe 2.5 times. Wow, people don't realize, how much is going on in our body. And our heart pumps blood through those 100,000 kilometers of blood vessels and arteries every single second, every single minute of the day. Okay, so how long do you think it would take to get blood through those 100,000 kilometers? What was really crazy when I saw this fact is it takes 1 minute roughly. So all your blood travels through your body in 1 minute. So effectively that means 100,000 kilometers of blood vessels are getting blood through them every single minute of the day. So back to that question, when you look at one of the quickest and strongest planes, the Boeing 747, how long does it take it to get around the globe 2.5 times? It would take it days, right? Whereas your heart can do that in 1 minute. So when you look at it like that, it is a more effective piece of machinery. And not only that, your blood pumps roughly 2,000 gallons or approximately 8,000 liters of blood every single day, non-stop whatsoever. Okay, you can sleep at night, but your heart doesn't stop at all. Even a plane, a Boeing 747, it's been made to last around 135,000 to 165,000 hours of flying time. That's it. So when you equate that to years, it's between 15 to 19 years. That's it. And then they're retired. Okay, so that's the best engines in the world are made to last 15 to 19 years, whereas our heart, the poor thing, has to last through a lifetime, which can be 80, 90, 100 years or even more. Okay, so it's not, unusual that 1 in 3 people die from heart disease. Heart disease is the biggest killer for obvious reasons. So much workload that we put our heart under. So what can we do? What can we do to help our heart last for a longer period of time or to try and avoid heart attacks? There's quite a bit you can do, and that's why I encourage you to watch some of the presentations in this playlist. In particular, Dr. Gerald Lewis on heart disease. That is absolutely brilliant. There's a lot of value in that. This is one of his books that he's written. He's written many. He's been listed in the Who's Who of Medicine in the world and the Who's Who in the world. And he's a famous heart surgeon. Both him and his wife have been doctors since 1967. So obviously he's got quite a bit of knowledge. So there's a lot you can do. I'm just going to share one of the most interesting and easiest things to do that he mentioned in the presentation, and that is fish oil. Just taking a good quality fish oil alone reduce the deaths from heart attacks by over 80% in males, but as he says in the presentation, it's the same for women and children as well. But he talks a lot more. You hear things about grapeseed extract, which make the blood flow around 2-3 times better, coenzyme Q10, and so many other things. But he also mentions about exercise, and he also tells you what you can do while somebody's in a heart attack. So, you might be able to save somebody else's life as well, because you never know if you're ever put in that situation as well. So a lot of value. If you do exercise, you're an athlete, be sure to watch some of the other videos in the playlist, because you are putting your heart, that's for the elite athletes, under a lot more strain because you're pumping a lot more blood. So there's things that you can do there as well. Okay, so my message is love your heart, because it is an amazing, piece of machinery, and appreciate it and look after it. and then he'll look after you.